Hello, everybody. Today we're going to learn how to load packages in R. We're going to start off in posit.cloud in our summer 2023 project. And we'll start off by going to File, New File, and then Quarto document like we always do. We'll call this one Loading Packages. And we'll leave the author name empty. And finally, we will just create that. And we get the familiar template Quarto document with the metadata at the top, and then regular text and code interspersed throughout the rest. Now we're going to start off by deleting everything from line 6 down. So all we have is the metadata, and we're going to start making our own headings. So let's start off by making a level 2 heading, and we're going to call it Load Packages. And then right away, we're going to make a level 3 heading that we're going to call Haven. And we'll press render just to make sure that we haven't made any mistakes yet. We'll call this Loading Packages assignment. And on the right here, we now get the nice web page. So we have our title, Loading Packages, our section called Load Packages, and then the first package we're going to load is called Haven. Now, on the left, we are going to do something new here. We're going to actually add some R codes. This is going to be the first R code you complete in this class. And we start off by adding a chunk of R code. So an empty chunk. So we insert an empty chunk with this green C button. And there we go. We see the tick, 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 curly brace R, and then tick, tick, tick again below. And in between, we can add all the R code that we want. Now, R can do a lot of things, but it can't do everything out of the box. So when you first fire up posit.cloud, there are some things that we are going to want to do that R can do, but it's not quite ready to do it yet. We need to install a package that sort of teaches R or allows us to use R in a new way. So for example, one common thing we will want to do, but which R isn't set up out of the box to do, is import data files from SPSS. So an SPSS data file, a .sav file. R can do it, but it's not like a standard default thing that R is set up to do. So we need a package that knows how to import these SPSS files, and we'll use the functions in that package to do what we want, which is work with SPSS files. So that package is called Haven. And the way we install a package in R is like this. We just write install.packages, and it suggests it for us. And this is going to be a key thing throughout the course, which is to allow RStudio, or to allow posit.cloud to suggest, to auto-complete what we're trying to type. That way we'll make fewer spelling errors, and it will also be a clue for situations where maybe we actually have skipped a step. Sometimes if you skip a step, it can't auto-complete for us. So this will make sure that we don't skip any steps. So install.packages, I'll just hit enter now that it's auto-suggesting it. I'll add some quotations, and in the quotations, I will type Haven. So that's our first R command. Let's run it. Now the way we can run it, very simple. Click on this green triangle here, the play button. We get this nice little green bar here, and below in the console, all kinds of information pops up, all the things that it's installing that lets Haven work. At the bottom here it says, or even here as well, it says the downloaded source packages are here. That means it works. But sometimes in R, it's hard to tell if something really worked or not. And so for when we're installing packages, we want to go to the packages section and look for Haven, because we just installed it, right? So here's a list of all our packages. Haven should be here, and there's Haven. It allows us to import and export SPSS, Stata, and SAS files. Okay, well, let's go back up to Haven here. And that seems like pretty useful information about what Haven does. So let's type that here. So what does Haven do? It import and export. Import and export SPSS, stata, and SAS files. And this is all great, but we still can't use Haven yet. It's on the computer, but notice there's no check mark, right? So here we've got GR devices with a check mark, graphics with a check mark, base with a check mark. We can only use the packages that have check marks. So we've got to get Haven a check mark now. So I'm going to erase what we have there, and we're going to write library Haven. So library is a function in R that makes a package available for us to use. So I press play here, little green bar, and now when we scroll back over here, we see that Haven has a check mark. Great. And anytime we want to use any package, we just do those two steps. Install.packages, library. However, there is one annoying thing, and that is every time I want to run and make a new document and I want to import an SPSS file, I've got to install Haven. So I'll just do it right now. I'll go install.packages, Haven, and I'll run it. Oh, it needs to be reloaded. Okay, that looks good. Here we go. So it went through that whole process again. Even though Haven was already on my computer, right? I'll press play one more time. It's doing it again, even though it's already on my computer. Like, this is just wasting my time, right? Now, Haven doesn't take that long to install. We're talking about a matter of seconds. But some packages take a really long time. They're very large, and it gets very annoying. And also, if you have, as you'll see, we will often have multiple packages in the same assignment. And so we'll have to reload them all the time. And that's very annoying. So we want to skip the step. We want to be able to say to R, hey, I want to use Haven, but don't download it unless you need to. If you already have Haven, don't download it again. So we want to be able to say that to R. And that is something that we can do. And so we're going to do it like this. We're going to write if something is true, then install the packages. And in this case, we'll do Haven. And we'll also do, let's see, we'll do dependencies equals true. So just, if you have to install other packages to make Haven work, please install those as well. And then we're going to do library Haven, right? So far, this code should make sense to you. Even though it's like your first day in R, this should still make sense, right? It's still install.packages and library, the only two commands we know, but only if something is true. And what we want to be true is that we don't have Haven already installed on our computer. So is there a way to check if Haven is installed on our computers already? And there is. Now, we know the library command makes a function available to use, or makes a package available to use, I should say. However, there's a similar command called require. And I'll just put Haven in there, which does the same thing. It makes Haven available to use, but it returns true and false. So require Haven. Boom, Haven now has the check mark, just like if we had done library. But we can do something like this. We can say, let's call this temp variable equals require Haven. And then if we look for the value of temp var, it's true. Let's try this again. Temp var equals require, and now I'm going to just make up a package that doesn't exist. We're going to call this the UNF examples package. It says, oh, there's no package there. Okay, great. But if I look at temp var is false. So we can use this require function to figure out if a package is already installed on our computers. If it's not installed, it returns false. So we can put that inside this little if command here. So if require, and we'll just write Haven. If require Haven, that's going to return true because Haven's on our computer, right? And that's not what we want. We want to flip the true to a false, which you can do with an exclamation point. So we're going to say if require Haven, flip it. So if it's false, so in other words, if Haven is not on our computer, install it, then library it. So let's do it. Boom, super fast. So we can do this with all of our packages now. And we save ourselves the problems of having to re-download from the internet packages we already have. And it does take a little bit extra code, but the good news is that we can quickly copy and paste this. So I'm going to copy and paste this like this. Instead of Haven, another really common package that we'll use in this course is tidyverse. And I'll just replace the word Haven with tidyverse 3 times. And now I've got it. And so now this is downloading from the internet for the first time. It wasn't on my computer. But once this finishes downloading, I'll press play again, and it will be just like that. The other thing I can do is I can explain what tidyverse does. So, well, we'll grab the description from the packages tab over here. So much, so much. It took so long. Now let's press play again. Let's see it go fast this time so we don't have to download it. Boom, instant. Perfect. So let's see, what does tidyverse do? Here's tidyverse over here. It's got the check mark. Oh, this lets us to easily install and load the tidyverse. Okay, so great. But what is a tidyverse? Well, the tidyverse is a collection of packages that makes it easier to tidy, clean, and work with data. And so we'll use tidyverse because we would like to make that easier for ourselves.